Alright, it's time once again for us to do a song about me drawing, which is not a very good song. Anyways, hello, welcome back. It's art stream time again. We are still back, working yet still on the next comic with Caddy and Jockington, but we're pretty good along in terms of progress because now we're at character shading. Hooray! One of the last steps. We basically got character shading and then filling out word balloons and then special effects, and then we'll be good. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. I hope that you're doing well on Sunday and all that stuff. I am doing all right. Hello. I will wait for ads to free you, and you can be back in the art zone, which is like the share zone, except there's less skeletons here. Hello, hello. We are shading in our favorite big scary monsters today, as they are wondering what the heck is going on. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. Appreciate y'all being here and so promptly in the morning. I mean, maybe it's afternoon where you are, but for me it's morning. But I'm a morning person, so it works out. Even Alfie's is here watching us from her rock, basking. Oh man, I am really super frustrated with stuff lately because for her green salad, I'm supposed to be giving her collard greens and dandelion greens. Those are the best greens to get her. But lately, I can't find them. I'm wondering if there's like a supply chain issue or something. People don't have them. The place I usually order them from did not have any available. And then I tried 2 other places to order collard greens from, and they didn't have any collard greens. Nobody had collard greens. So I ended up using arugula and kale for her salad, which I think she liked the arugula part, but those are not ideally supposed to be her daily greens. And I am seriously considering, if collards and dandelion are not available anytime soon, I'm considering going to a garden center and just getting a setup so I can grow those greens myself on my balcony, because I'm tired of, like, in the long run it might save me a bit of money and stuff if I don't have to keep ordering fresh greens every week to be delivered. Might save some delivering money, basically. If I can just go out to my balcony and pick some greens for her, that'd be nice and fresh. But I do worry because I am really not a green thumb. I haven't really done much gardening practice. So I'm like, man, will I be able to consistently grow a bunch of greens on my little apartment balcony? I don't know, but hopefully I can. I can't imagine that, like, dandelion is difficult to grow. Like, that'll be like, hey, a sidewalk, I can grow in that kind of thing. So I can probably grow some dandelion. Oh. But I'm not sure on the collards. I've heard that collards are decently easy to do, like they'll grow in cold weather. But again, I am not very green thummy. I don't have much practice. I don't have much practice gardening. Did you do anything fun today? This is the fun thing I'm doing today so far. Again, it is morning where I am. The fun thing is I woke up, which is good because I had a nightmare last night. I had a nightmare that bad things were happening to Alfie's, and I was very upset. Also, there were like bugs all over my arms and stuff at one point. I think I drew some of that in my dream diary. But I'm glad that did not actually happen. You know, friggin' Gaster invading my dreams again. I don't know, is Gaster associated with bugs? I don't think he is. Oh, sweet, cool. Go forth, dye your hair purple, hooray! I should dye my hair again. I dyed my hair like blue and green, like my fave colors, a few years ago. And even though my mom was kind of like, about it, but who cares? I'm an adult, I can do it if I want. And it was fun. The main problem is that that like having your hair dyed then requires you to like keep it maintained and stuff like that, and that was the part that I struggled with. Was like, because like usually if I just don't do much with my hair and my body. I just like, okay, I washed it, I dry it, and we're done kind of thing. But having dyed hair, you got to do a little bit more with it. So it was fun, and part of me wants to do it again. Another part of me is like, oh, do I want to go to the trouble for all that? Plus, man, it was expensive. It was like $600 to do my hair. I mean, it's probably because, like, one, you know, it had to be bleached first to, you know, get it ready for color. So I had to do the bleach and then set that in, and then it was like layered colors. So there was like 2 colors I had to put in, and that took a while. I was in there for like several hours, but I was, you know, I wanted to try something new. I'm like, let's do something cool. I've never dyed my hair before. Let's do cool colors in my hair. And it was fun, but yeah, it was time consuming and it was so expensive. So I'm like, do I want to drop that much money on a haircut again? I don't know. Like, it'd be cool, but I don't know if I want it that badly. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Probably has to do with the agender stuff. I'm like, oh, my body, I exist in that? Oh, I don't know about that. Which, you know, I actually think that the reason why I dyed my hair was to try and, like, overcome that a little bit. I'm like, hey, you have a body, you should, you know, like, live in it a bit, kind of thing. And, again, it was fun, but difficult to get myself to do on a regular. And I like people's dyed hair. Like, one of my friends got, like, rainbow stuff in their hair that looks really cool, even as pastel kind of stuff. One of my coworkers, he has, like, this kind of rainbow streak in his hair that's always really cool. And one time, another one of my coworkers, she got her hair done. It was really cool. Where basically, like, she had, like, dark hair, like almost black hair on top. And then, like, if you got to, like, if you flipped her hair up underneath, there was, like, this kind of, you know, pink, purple, blue, aurora kind of stuff, like, underneath the black. So, like, it would kind of shine through if you flipped it right. And I thought that was extremely cool. I'm like, oh, gosh, I wish I could do that. But, so, I admire people that can do cool stuff with their hair, but it's difficult to motivate me to do any of that. I barely get it cut that often. I get it cut when I'm like, it's too long. I hate how long it feels. I'm going to just, you know, chop it off and make it very easy to work with again. So I feel you on the, I have to, like, do stuff with a body? Okay. But I kind of wish I had the care and desire to do more with my hair. That was like the one time I got a compliment on my hair was like when it was dyed blue. They're like, oh, I love your hair. Oh, doodle request. Okay, I'll try and see if I can absorb all that. Let's see. My sister, brother. Okay, I'll see what I can do with that. You give pretty complicated requests, I'll say. But we'll do our best. Intel driver and support assistant, be gone! Okay. Cute OCs, though. Yeah, heck. I did a weird thing. Trying to focus on that. Kind of like a robot arm and stuff like that. Oh no, I feel this is like a Homestuck thing. I have to put a face on it quick. Big poof pats. Big old shoes. The easy way to draw shoes. Okay. This one. Ah. Give it sibling energy. I'll do my best. I'm just like the older sibling, yet she's short. I know there's stuff going on with TADC. I'm trying to I'm ignoring that. I just want to go see the movie and have fun. I'm probably not going to complain about the ending because I don't think that's going to bother me, whatever happens with it. Okay. Cool hair, just, ooh, it takes a little bit to draw. Also, I like the fluffy ears. A little hair scruff. Also a halo around here, up above. So I hope that didn't make their head too big. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, knock it off. Do a big. I'm not sure what these are called. I'm sure they have a name, but I don't know what that is. Probably do the legs too short here. Oops. It'll be okay if I bend the knees. It'll make sense. That's always a thing I struggle with usually when I draw a character just, from scratch. They're a bit too top heavy, then I have to be like, oh, nope, I gotta go back into the legs and make the lower half of the body longer. I'm sure every artist has got that one thing. And they're like, proportions. That. Getting cute outfits. Okay. How is that? Sweet. And it even fits right there. We filled up the space. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Cute designs. Another one, Kid Chris. They have Frisk closed eyes. Okay. Just a little Kid Frisk. Well, I don't want to put them stacked together, so we're going to put them over here. Where did Kid Frisk? Or Kid Chris? I don't know. Thing is, how you gonna be able to tell them apart from regular Frisk? It's gonna just look like regular Frisk. Beautiful month is sibling, exactly. I guess I gotta put the horn headband on them so you know it's Chris. Because otherwise you'll be like, that's just a Frisk. Very easy to get their names screwed up, huh? I wonder why. Just a little cross-legged. With some pie. Their favorite food. Cough, cough, player. My favorite food is pie. Just a little guy. Little creature. Okay. It's sibling vibes. It is sibling vibes so far. It's so funny seeing what the the vibe of the doodle page ends up being. So there you have it. I'm sure later we'll get some Des and Noelle to round things out. No. Hair scruff, hair scruff. I don't think I ever did that with my siblings, though. How did we horse around as kids? Some of it was literal horsing around. I accidentally fell off a bunk bed once when I was younger. And I sprained my wrist on a chair because I fell off a bunk bed onto a chair because me and my brother were horsing around on the top bunk. Don't do that. Try not to do that. Actually, I think we need to continue this back here. 2 little griffins jumping on the bed. One fell off and bonked their head. That's exactly what happened. Well, I guess I bonked my arm. This was like in London too. We were in London and we were on a bunk bed and I fell off and I fell into a chair. And while everybody else got to go, like, you know, sightsee, I had to go to a hospital. But luckily it wasn't broken. It was just very badly sprained. I still had to have it in a sling though. I know, My Fair Lady. All that stuff. Come on, Dilda. Move your blooming ass. The shoulder punch, yeah, that kind of thing. You do got to be careful. Once I accidentally hurt my youngest brother, you know, play fighting around with them. I felt really bad. I was supposed to be babysitting them, and we were just having a little roughhousing, and I think I bent his fingers back too far. I don't think they were broken. I think they were just also sprained. But he was like crying a bunch, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm just an older sibling. So, well, I mean, obviously we stopped horsing around then. But I felt bad. I did not mean to hurt them. Or hurt him. He doesn't use they, them pronouns. But we got better. Luckily, kids are usually pretty resilient. Just kind of one of those things you learn. I mean, as you get older, it's like, oh, you have to be a little gentle with people. You gotta learn your own strength. But to be honest, we didn't like horse around that much either way, because all of us kids were pretty subdued. We would mostly hang out and like do, you know, art and puzzles together, play video games together. I got along with my siblings pretty well. I still do. They're decent people. Oh, Kit and Caboodle. Well, I'm sure there'll be time for that later. I'm sure we'll also fill up the page with a bunch of Gameoverse characters as well. I gotta do a Kit and Caboodle. Or Gobbles. Your Gameoverse journey begins. I know. I am excited. I hope they do more Gameovers, because it was good. And I do hope that Goose, like, does some other creative projects. I hope this doesn't completely turn them off of doing that kind of stuff. Because that just sucks. Like, fandom, you gotta get your act together. I mean, I know they usually don't. That's been a problem with fandom for a long time, but you gotta try, please. It makes me glad that Toby just does not make himself available to fandom, even though I'm sure he wants to. Okay, once it's off cooldown, yeah, we can do stuff from the recent fan games. We've gotten some good fan games recently. Man, like, again, fandom can be so talented if you give it half a chance. I hate when people, like, also disparage, like, oh, fans are the worst, blah, blah, blah. Like, fans can do some extremely cool things. And I'm pretty sure that Goose and, Toby and everybody are aware of that. The problem is just, especially in today's day and age, where we have easy access to, you know, everybody. If you have, you know, a problem, and especially if you're, you know, a young person feeling angry at the world and that you can't do anything about all the terrible things going on in the world, you're like, well, at least I can yell at my favorite cartoon creator about things not going how I want, and not good things happen as a result. And it sucks. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she stays away from animation and, you know, keeps doing music and stuff like that. But either way, it just sucks. I don't want to be spoiled on, like, you know, the finale for Digital Circus, because I do have tickets to go and see it with my friendos in the theater. Although we didn't get very good seats. We ended up being really close to the front because we got the tickets too late. But hopefully it won't be one of those things that kind of like knocks you on your ass too much if you're in the front row. Okay, with my dad going, he could not handle it. He gets motion sick at movies now. Yeah, like that's I understand that feeling, and like obviously, you know, Goose isn't perfect either. There's, you know, a running problem of racism, not just in like this fandom, but every fandom, because there's a running problem with racism in real life, and that seeps into fandom stuff as well. But like as a fan, you really have to pick your battles properly. You can't be picking on people who are like kind of in the same boat as you in terms of like money and power, and just, you know, also suck at being racist sometimes, like you do. Also, hello, thank you for coming. Hope you're doing well. So I do feel like fans like lashing out at indie creators is basically like, I want to have some modicum of control over, like, you know, crappy things in my life and stuff like that. And this is like the one area that I can have control over it. The problem is like the people they're lashing out at are like also regular indie people, or, you know, regular, you know, marginalized people who are already having to, you know, swim uphill or all that kind of stuff just to get their work out there. Apparently there's like discourse about Digital Circus on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter anymore, thank God. So I don't know specifics. It just kind of leaks out, you know, because Twitter can't keep its shit contained. Ugh. I'm like, this is why I moved to Blue Sky, so I don't have to do this anymore. I can't escape it, because they'll be like, well, over on the bad side. I'm like, well, why are you bringing this over to the not bad side? Please. Not that Blue Sky is free of, you know, problems either. But Twitter definitely encourages it. Hello again. Yeah, no, I really appreciate the stuff that Glitch has been putting out. Just as somebody who works in animation and understands, like, all the, you know, difficulties, ins and outs of, like, making an animated series, I am really happy that we have this indie studio that's putting out a lot of really good work. And I wish people would stop ragging on it. I'm like, y'all, you don't know how good you guys have it, because without this kind of stuff, there is going to be nothing for you. Studios are not making anything for teens and, like, middle schoolers and young adults. I am not kidding you. They just do not think you exist. So the reason why I want to go and support this stuff in the theaters is to show, hey, there's a market for this. Please, you know, start making some more animation for, you know, younger audiences. Because right now, major studios they're like, no, we don't want to do that. We are only making stuff for either preschoolers, really young kids, or like adult sitcoms. They are not interested in doing stuff for kids or middle schoolers or teens in terms of like adventure or fantasy or any of that kind of stuff. They do not give a crap. That is only coming from indie animation, and if that goes away, you're getting jack squat. So people really need to lay off of, you know, the few people that are trying to do something for a market that exists and that major studios will not acknowledge. Why are they climbing? They're climbing the mountain to hug the mountain. Actually, they're trying to get to the top, and it's hard because there are waterfalls and it's wet and slippery. They're climbing. That's what I say to Alpies every time she starts climbing somewhere. You're climbing. I mean, I don't know what other answer there is except they're trying to reach the top. And also, Birdly is not helping them, and that's a problem. That is what they're yelling about. Birdly, can I get some help here? Yeah, ever higher. Exactly. This is from, like, the Chapter 4 area, so we did a lot of climbing around there. I wonder what new mechanic we're gonna get in Chapter 5 in terms of, like... This is the weird game thing we're going to bring up that you do, and then we're just going to do it this chapter and not again. Why didn't Birdly fly them up? Well, they're talking about that. When it's done, you will see why they're talking about that. Yeah, Birdly probably should fly them up. Yeah, trust me, that is a topic of discussion. That's why Chris is looking annoyed. Little help here from the one person with wings in the party. Hello? But mostly it's just premise for them to fall down and get separated from the group. Sometimes you just gotta cut to the chase. Especially with comics that are already getting this long. Why are they doing this? Because I say so. I gotta do it. I gotta look. I gotta say, I gotta look up, like, what's the definition? What's the proper word for fear of heights? Because I'm guessing this would probably be like a content warning because there's a fall from a big height here. So, actually, a couple of them. So, what is the correct term? Acrophobia. Okay, I'm not agoraphobia. That's wide spaces. Acrophobia. Okay, I'm gonna have to try and remember that. I'm trying to think of, like, what's the Latin root there? Acro means tall, height, falling? Never stayed in canon? I know. I assume Noelle can swim. She's in the track team. I imagine she's just, like, general athletics. Though I'm guessing water stuff may be relevant in the future. Acrophobia is from Greek. Okay, what's the Greek word? I wonder how much... Actually, Latin and Greek probably don't overlap much at all now that I think about it. I'm pretty sure Greek came before Latin. Akron meaning peak, summit, edge. Interesting. I learned something new. Cool word though, Akron. Do you think Noelle could outrun Susie? Yes, I do. I think Susie is strong. I think Noelle is fast though. And also Noelle is again on the track team. She's been practicing. Yeah, I'm not sure if Chris can swim, actually. I think they might... I wouldn't be surprised if the thing that happened to Des that Chris feels responsible for involves, like, the lake. Somebody falling through ice in the lake. And that Des almost drowned, looked like she drowned kind of thing. So Chris might have hang-ups about that. Okay, doodle request is ready. Coffin K, TS underswap. Okay, let me try and look that up. I'm trying to use DuckDuckGo more often for this kind of thing because I hate Google search now. TS underswap Coffin K. Okay, here we go with some sprites. Okay. Susan can swim in Monster Hunter Stories 3. Aw. Okay. Once I do this, I will need to then take my stretch break because it's been a little bit. He's so cute. Hope I can do him correctly. It's my first time drawing him, so please be nice. And got like that high collar. I'm guessing like the bats are controlling the coat. Because he's just the hat. A scaredy hat. Ooh. Probably be a very basic pose. Okay, actually I hope I'm getting the pose correct. Yeah. It's kind of a Carmen Sandiego look. Just because it's the red coat. Ooh. He's so silly. Okay. Do a little black here. That. I got him. I think I got him right. Coffin K! There he is. Where in the underground is Coffin K? He has his own Coffin Keep in Starlight Isles. Alright, time for me to do my stretch break. Yay! Got ourselves a cute little guy. Oh, I missed it. It should be where in the underground is Coffin K. Kind of hard to map on this Carmen Sandiego. Okay. Do 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 do. He is a cool guy with a beautiful soul. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Yeah, how do you map that onto where in the underground is Coffin K? Here we go. I got it. Oh, Dragonstein's music, kind of perfect for this. I suppose I need to start looking up some of the music from all these AUs as well, and see if I can't add that into my playlist. I did that with a couple songs for Undertale Yellow, so if there's some for TS Underswap, then I can probably scoot around and find those somewhere, hopefully. Some of the alt root themes for right, I haven't looked up much for the evacuation route or the genocide route, or actually, do they call it genocide route? I thought they called it something else. Is it like obliteration or something like that? I don't remember exactly. What do you think of Andrew Cunningham Ink Theory? Rocks. I watched it twice yesterday, and I left a positive comment. Because I know that this first one was a lot more like analysis than like quote-unquote theory. Okay, Obliteration or Ruthless. Okay, good to know. But I know it's a bit more analysis than theory, but like I appreciated that kind of analysis. I really like that kind of thing more than just like straight theory crafting. And like especially if he goes into ink as like being tied to darkness, being tied to writing fiction and like overwriting ink and all that stuff. I've been saying that for years. That was basically the premise behind my original take, where I thought that Garrison was the knight, because like I like the concept of Garrison as the knight. I did not like the Oberon Smog concept. So I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's not correct in terms of like the character and the themes. The themes are about you know fiction and reality and your relationship with fiction and reality. So having the knight be somebody who was a fiction writer and ink and kind of stuff, and that association with water and darkness, the well of imagination, a fountain pen, blah blah blah, like that's the key to it. That's the core. And we didn't get that in canon, but I was still happy with what we got, because what they then talked about was, hey, this is we got to see Garrison and a fiction writer's relationship with the Dark Worlds. That was what I wanted to see. And also Des was my second choice for the night, so I'm happy with what we got. But basically, like, yeah, if Andrew Cunningham talks more about the relationship between water and darkness as ink, as imagination, like, yeah, I've been saying that for years, so on board. And I'll be right back for one more stretch and water and stuff. Getting a text. No. Turn. Time for more. Oh, hello. Thank you for coming. Oh, the airport. Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. You did such a good job. I've really been enjoying it. But yeah, I'll finish up the rest of it next week. Can you actually give me an estimate of how much more there is to go? Because I'm like, I wasn't expecting it to be this long for the demo. So I do have a plan if I end up finishing it early for other stuff I can do next week. But I'm just curious about how much is left, just so I can like kind of plan in my head. But yeah, you did awesome. I've really been enjoying it. The characters are so cute. That's 4 days. Oh, so I was close to the end. Oh, I thought we would go like a full week or something. Oh, okay. So I was close to the end. All right, cool. I will finish it next week, and then I will do something else once I finish it. Okay. Good to know. Wager about an hour left. Okay. Yeah, I screwed up last time with the meatballs, and Moz ate me a couple times. Oh, the demo has 5 days. Okay. I think I stopped at the end of day 3 or so I was about to go into day 4 if I recall correctly. I can't remember. I'd have to, go back and check. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I hope you finish it, because it's a really good start. Okay. Yeah, it depends on my performance. The funny thing is like, normally with Undertale fan games and that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, I, just want to get by, do well enough to win. On this one, I'm like, man, I wish I could go back and, like, practice and try again so I can get my S ranks. I can't do it again. So it feels like it has, like, a replayability thing to it where you want to actually, like, practice and get better at the mini games, the WarioWare stuff, as opposed to just being like, okay, good enough, I have dodged it, I'm still alive. Whereas no, like, no, I have to find the secret ingredients and get everything correct. Actually, but only to get to the super secret sicko mode. I can't believe I missed sicko modes on the first day. I didn't talk to that NPC the first day. And then I'm like, oh, there's sickos. Okay, cool. Hopefully I can find all the optional content. So yeah, I should have plenty. Okay. And if I finish early, then I might switch over and do that theory survey that's running around again. So I didn't do the last one, but I'll do another one. But I will definitely, at the very least, finish the demo next week. Please forgive my crappy voice acting. I'm not much of a voice actor, but I am enjoying the characters. And I do kind of like the idea for this one. Normally for the fan games we have to, like, oh, we have to go through this area and this area. You'll have to design a bunch of different areas for them to go through. So I think, like, being like, no, we're sticking with one area, and instead we're doing, like, a different mechanic based on time, and just, like, things change in the one area as time progresses. I think that's cool. The cookbook lets you practice. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great feature. That's a great feature. Because, yeah, that was my one wish. Is like, oh, I did bad at that minigame and I can't do it again. So I just have to live with my B rank or whatever. Yeah, they're super cute. I've said before that, like, one of the things I've really enjoyed about Undertale fan games is I feel like most people really understand the assignment in terms of, like, coming up with really endearing, quirky, new monster characters. Like, little NPCs and just, like, how funny they are. I feel like that's been consistent across Undertale fan games I've seen, where people just do really cute, funny NPCs. And I think that's cool. Ooh, nice. Congrats on winning a giveaway. But yeah, I also need to listen to the new podcast for survey program and stuff like that. See the interview. Oh, that's so cool! I've heard really good things about Courier New, so maybe I should check them out sometime. It's kind of like the standard for Undertale Deltarune fanfiction. A lot of leveraged character and world in different ways. Doing the meta plot is very, very hard. Plus, it isn't the original. Yeah. I do think it was smart in this case to, like, not be like, oh, we have to, do genocide routes and pacifist routes, and be like, no, we're just focusing on different elements because this is a different character. Oh, there's a book. Oh my goodness. Where do I buy the book? The problem is I'm so bad at, like, getting to reading things. That's why I get audiobooks now, because I can, like, listen to audiobooks while I do my chores. I just have to have, like, Andrew Cunningham do an audiobook of Courier News fanfiction, and then I can get it all while I'm doing the dishes and all that stuff, and I'd be like, yay, let's do my fanfics. But no, I know how that goes, where, like, if you really like fanfiction stuff, you kind of end up doing little indie prints for it. Has he done that before? Okay, I guess I gotta check his backlog. I have been going through some of Andrew Cunningham's backlog. I was looking at his Yeek playthrough because I didn't see his Mother 3 playthrough. I missed that. I was like, oh, I gotta see Mother 3. I should probably also check out I guess I should check out Koru Observer because he talks about how great Koru Observer is all the time. And I do know about Umriss. Umriss was like a whole deal. The Umriss deal. I didn't read the conclusions that people did to Umriss, but I am kind of aware of what happens in Umriss and why it got the reputation it did. Oh, Coria wrote an Umriss fanfic? Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah, I know there's like a bunch of Azzy Pants streams. I kind of put a... I don't know if I want to call it like a Azzy Pants theme in Eldritchrune. It's kind of like a very slight little nod to it in terms of like doomed Yowie or whatever in the ending, but bad things happen to Birdly in Eldritchrune's ending, and Azzy witnesses it, and it's very awkward. Also, I probably should have... Actually, I don't think I should have done this. Save. Let's do a much more simple shading on this one. I have no clue how I would have ended Umriss. Really? Of course it did. Of course he accidentally predicted some of chapters 3 and 4 in an Umriss fic. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's another thing I've heard about Courier News fics is that they're shockingly good at predicting future chapters and stuff like that. So sometime I need to like, I don't know, do something with my current predictions for like chapter 6 and 7. I did basically like a fanfic outline for how I think that's gonna go. I could probably add like a couple art pieces to it if I wanted to. It's just an outline. It's not very refined, and I'm sure there's stuff that like I've missed and, you know, I'm not accounting for and blah, blah, blah. I just kind of, like, went off on a tangent one time. I'm like, okay, if this happens, then I think this would happen. And I think this would be cool to play and blah, blah, blah. So I have that written down. Some people on my server have seen that, but I haven't, like, posted it anywhere. It's part theory, but mostly it's fan fiction. You know, you kind of have to at this point. Oh, yeah. Father Alvin is disappointing in Eldritchrune. Wait, did Umriss predict that? That's wild. That's wild. Yep, that's how it is. You're like, well, if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, you're like, you're going to be hearing from me for days. It's like if Half-Human Susie does happen in canon, you will hear my dolphin screeches from space. I will not shut up about it. Beware. But if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen, and onward with life we go. We'll find out, I hope, soon. Please, Toby. Please. I also predicted Birdly reading A Tale of Two Cities. Oh, that is funny. Understandable. I think that's a funny... Like, I can see that kind of coincidence happening, but that is extremely funny. Also, alternate version of Tale of Two Cities, which is, like, has a very long intro. Or Toby has read Umriss, which is terrifying, but, like, I wouldn't be that shocked if that happened. Like, the guy does engage with fandom. What do you think of Titan Ralsei? Don't agree. I don't think Ralsei is a Titan. I think Ralsei has a portion of Chris's soul. That's my wild theory. Which is kind of a bit of a expansion on my original one, which is just that Ralsei had Chris's soul. I am modifying that a bit, and that I think he has a portion of it, not the whole thing. But I don't think he's a Titan. Yeah, there was a Chapter 2 era comic about that, so I'm still kind of on board with that, but I am modifying that a little bit based on new information. My current thoughts are that Chris's soul has been split into 3 portions. One is with Ralsei, one is still with Chris, which is why they're able to make a dark fountain in the first place. And then a portion of it is with Des / the Night, so kind of split into 3. Like, why do we have 3 save files? Does seem like a heavily interface with fandom? No, I understand that kind of thing. It's like, if he did do it, I think he would have to be very careful about it. But I think he is certainly aware of fandom stuff. Like, he made the whole friend inside me joke with the mics in chapter, 4 with the mics. So that is definitely some understanding and engagement with fandom. He is aware of the memes and stuff at the very least. So I'm certain if he does participate, he is not letting anybody know about it. Yeah. I think people might overestimate how much he pays attention to, but I think he is paying attention. It's just one of the things where, like, you can't... He is doing what he can because he can't actually participate in fandom. It's hard to say. It very well could, like, it's the kind of thing where, like, I could see it as him making a little funny jab at Umriss, but it could just be coincidence. Either one seems plausible. Yeah, that's the difficult part. Like, I can absolutely see Toby being like, I want to engage with fandom, and he knows that he can't. Yeah, I'm sure he looks at fan art. Because, like, that's something that you really want as a creator. You want to hear what, people say about your work. You want to see them engage with it. You want to see fan art and fanfiction and all that stuff. But the problem is, as you get, like, more popular and your work becomes bigger, there's, like, a threshold that you reach wherein you stop being able to do that. You literally can't engage with fandom anymore because it's dangerous. We're seeing that happening with Goose right now. It's kind of wrecking her, which sucks. You literally have to say, I can't engage anymore. I can't answer people's questions. I can't, like, clarify things. I can't say, this is what I meant to do. Can't say, oh, this is a cool fan art, or I like this idea, kind of thing. Oh, you got this right. You just can't. And I think that's always going to suck a little bit, but it is necessary. He turns into a basketball, dribbles away, and swishes through a hoop. True. That's why I was taking forever for the new newsletter. He's just swishing through the hoop constantly. Yeah, he made himself into a dog because that's what Temmie did. Apparently he's more of a cat person, which means he's probably closer to friend than he is the annoying dog. Yeah, I feel bad for Goose, too. It sucks, because I am enjoying Digital Circus. I want to go see it in theaters, or I'm planning to go see it in theaters. But it's just a crappy situation. Reverse the dog. Instead of white dog, it's black cat. The two sides of Toby. Sweet little pupper who's annoying. Creepy old cat who's a friend. That's how it be. Dog is the god. Good anthology book. So I'm reminded of that. What's that one children's book of, like, the white dog and the black dog who switch places? Yeah, I do feel bad for Goose. But I think that is definitely reinforcing the idea that, no, you can't do that. You just have to step away from the fandom and be like, okay, people are going to be wrong about your work on the internet, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't think her tale would go that far. In that sense, when Toby said in one of his newsletters, he's like, yes, I have to give thanks to the, Homestuck fandom and Hussey. I learned a whole lot from Hussey about how to interact with your fandom, and I'm like, oh, did you, Toby? What did you learn exactly? Because I'm guessing the thing you learned was beware, don't do it. Which, you know what? Good lesson to learn. Well, at the very case, whether it blows up or not, I'm glad you made it. Because I really enjoyed it. Again, I think as I was saying on the stream, I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted to see from Undertale fan games. Not just be like, oh, it's this, you know, bullet hell again, but like, hey, let's try different genres in this same setting. Of, you know, cooking game, or fighting game, or rhythm game kind of stuff. So seeing, be like, oh, yay, this is, you know, what I wanted to see. And also, these characters are really cute. So, I'm enjoying it. Sometimes all you can do is make stuff for your freak friends and hope other people like it. I mean, that's basically what Eldritchrune is like, at this point I'm putting so many hours into, like, freaky AU that's barely connected to Deltarune at this point. I hope you like my freaky alternate thing. It's kind of outside what I normally do. I normally like sticking with canon a lot better with fan works. But at this point I'm like, I'm this far along in Eldritchrune, I can't stop. I gotta finish it. I have to finish it. I wasn't expecting it to be this much work. I should have realized. Thank you. Yeah, that was towards the start of Undertale, so I think he learned stuff from that too. Whoopsie-doo. Delphine Fan's pretty much Toho project. Toho project. Whenever I finish it, am I going to post the full thing? Whenever I finish it, I probably will do like a big PDF like I've done previously. But once the ending is done, that is going to be posted. And because it's like 20 parts long, I'm probably going to post it like every other day over the course of like 40 days. So watch out for a bombardment of that whenever I finish the ending, which, oh my goodness. We'll get to this eventually, but the part I'm at now is the part where, like, Susie is, like, eating the entire army, which means I have to draw an entire army. It's like the ball pit all over again. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? It's taking so long to draw. So the fan became so... Yeah, exactly. He did say that. It's fascinating comparing where he was. Because he used to be a lot more active in social media and stuff. And he just backed away from that completely. Yeah, it's been going on for 2 years. That might be... no, it's not as long as Paper Trail. But I started it before Chapters 3 and 4 came out. And I actually planned the ending. I wrote the ending before Chapters 3 and 4 came out. So, we didn't really have a good idea of who the knight was. So I had a different take on the knight. Canon's knight is way cooler than Eldritchrune's knight. I'll just say that right now. I do have to actually do a scene pretty soon with the knight, so we'll get to that eventually. But it's not Des. It's just a guy, not as cool as as Canon Knight. Oh well. It's the switcheroo thing where the normal people turn Eldritch and the Eldritch abominations turn normal people. Whatever happened to Paper Trail? I finished it. Where it ends is where I planned for it to end. I know a lot of people didn't like how it ended, but you can only do so much. Time of CW. Oh. Okay, so we started to develop at the same time. That's crazy. See, I remember hearing about Cooking with Kindness a while back. I don't remember when. But, yeah. No, Paper Trail's done. Honestly, Paper Trail was also kind of a nice lesson in, like, okay, how do you deal with people not liking how things end, kind of thing. How, like, can you live with that kind of thing? What can we learn from this? But at the very least, I kind of have the opposite problem with Eldritchrune, that the ending is ridiculously long and involved, and I am showing everything that happens. And I hope people will be satisfied with that. Please. With how it ends. I hope I can stick the landing with Eldritchrune, because I'm spending so much time on it compared to, like, what I did with Paper Trail. Oh good, oh good. I'm glad. I'm going through the Ultra Sunny baking pie with Mama. Well, Sunny seems to have their problems too. Yeah, some people are still doing paper trail fanfic. It's crazy. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, I really like Lauren the Flute stuff, but I know she's going through such hard times right now with her health. It sucks. Like, I was really enjoying, like, how thorough she was with her playthrough of Chapter 3, but I don't know if she's going to do Chapter 4 because, like, her health is just being ass. But I really like her work. And she's just a very sweet, kind person. I hope the doctors help her and that, you know, she can get some semblance of health stuff back because that sucks ass. I feel like that's happened to so many artists I know where, like, they're just, like, genuinely really cool people and then, like, some health thing happens or family thing happens that just, like, messes up their entire life and, like, there's no time for them to make their art anymore. It's too hard because of health reasons. And I'm like, life's unfair. Ugh. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I can definitely see that. Yeah. I'm so interested to see, like, how Sunny's story is resolved, because it kind of gets a sense of, like, oh, Sunny has gone into this, like, expecting, basically, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice my life in a way, and Sunny, no! You've got a reason to live! Yeah, I can definitely see that. That's super cool. I like hearing about people's, like, inspirations for various things in their art. And then you kind of see that, like, show up in their art and all that kind of stuff. Art is cool, y'all. It's cool to make. It's cool to share. Oh no, Agile! No! And seeing everybody's cool fan games makes me wish I could program, but I can't do it. Ugh. I've tried to learn programming. I got Game Maker, so I thought about making my own, like, you know, kind of Earthbound inspired game. I have, like, a lot of development stuff for it, but I just never quite got past I'm like, I'd have to ask somebody to program for me because every time I try and learn programming, it just seems to kind of slide out my ears. I don't know what it is. This was happened to me even when I was, like, in school for animation and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, it's a programming class. I gotta sit down and pay attention and learn some programming. It'll be really useful to know. Just it's like trying to learn another language. It absolutely slides through me. Yeah, the power of friendship. Very important. Very important, yes. That's what I really gotta do, is I gotta learn to, like, rely on other people who have skills more. Especially since, like, after Deltarune is done, I want to do a really big project. And I kind of have an idea of what I want to... It'll depend a lot on how Deltarune ends, but if it ends how I think it's going, then, like, okay, I want to do this big fan project for it after it's done. Like, literally take some time off of work so I can focus on it and, like, hire people to do certain aspects for it, especially, like, editing, sound, music kind of stuff, because sound is not my forte at all. I'm not good with sound. And, but I'm like, okay, I'll set aside some money so that I can take time off of work to do it and, you know, hire people in order to do music and sound and stuff for it. Get some cool friends with cool skills to help you out. True. I'm so isolated. That's my problem. I need to be better about collaborating with people who have different skills than me. Deltarune will end in darkness. We shall see. I don't think it's going to have, like, a downer ending. What do I do with that? Like, I don't expect it's like, and then everything, you know, sad happened. I actually don't think, like, you know, people are all going to die and stuff like that. Although I don't think Ralsei is going to make it to the ending. I think he is the one character that we're going to lose. I don't even think Rudy's going to die. I could see a Mother 3 style ending. Although, in some sense, I can see that kind of being around the end of like chapter 6, and then chapter 7 we go in a crazy direction. Sunny is the main character of Cooking with Kindness, which was the fan game I was playing the other day. Yeah, I think I remember that video. It was really good. It was very, very good. I should make another Eldritchrune theory video. I have like a bunch of them I can do. And people don't pay attention to things on like Tumblr. They pay attention to videos. But I'm so busy. I have work and I'm wrapped Eldritchrune, so I haven't gotten to any of them. So that's just the way it is. Like, maybe I'll have some time in the future. The problem is, if I have time in the future, it'll probably be because I'm on work hiatus, and that's less fun. I think Rudy is going to come close to dying, but I don't think he's going to actually die. I think he's actually, like, a bit more useful alive, but in peril than dead, basically. Like, in terms of, like, useful to the narrative. Ooh, nice. What will your next video be on? Also, I'd like to do another animatic again. I did like doing that one Suzelle animatic. I do have a lot of people that follow me on Tumblr, true. It just feels like people only pay attention to YouTube, you know, just kind of like on a broader scale. Ooh, underexplored topic. Ooh, fascinating. Fascinating. Hands. Ooh, fascinating. That is actually quite important. I am of the opinion, I am a believer in Chris is going to lose their hand. Story is basically over. Rudy dies in the epilogue, essentially. Okay, I see. I can see him dying off screen. Yeah, I can see him dying in, like, after the story is done. That's possible. Alright, you must be on your way. Yes, have a safe flight. Hopefully it is safe and relaxing as much as that can be. I know air travel's hard. Thank you so much for stopping by and for chatting with me. Hope you have a good trip. I gotta stop here in just a bit and to do my stretch break soon. Get my orange juice. Ralsei will either die or she will gender transition. True. True enough. Like, yeah, as I've said on Tumblr, I don't think we're gonna get a transition storyline with Ralsei, but if that did happen, I would be like, yeah, this makes sense. There is good setup for this. This is cool. Gotta make sure I'm getting the shadows correct over here. She will die, then transitioning, then come back to life. Okay, there we go. We got it. That'll be an important lesson. Lesson being, yes, you should transition right now. Ralsei's telling you to. Do it. Being a choice over whether to seal the Dark Worlds forever or not, and Ralsei be the one advocating for sealing forever. I'm still just not very on board with the idea that, oh, we have to seal the Dark Fountains forever. Because that kind of feels, again, counter to the themes that we have going. Fake choice. I do know, like, logistically it's a little difficult to be like, and then we left the Dark Worlds open forever kind of thing, but just thematically it's not quite fitting for me. I feel like if it was, oh, we're not going back to the Dark Worlds again thing, it would be a, they're still there for somebody else to visit, but we are choosing not to visit them anymore, basically, kind of thing. That feels more correct than, like, oh, we have to seal them away, you know, resist the temptation to ever engage in fantasy again, kind of thing. that not quite sitting right with me. Alright, time for lunch. Alright, as soon as I finish this, I'm going to do my stretch break and get my orangey juice. They are yelling, they are looking angry at the burb. Angry burbs. Because Chris fell down the hole. I mean, it certainly is possible that, like, the ending stuff will be, oh, well, we have to seal the grand fountain kind of thing. Just, it's not quite sitting right with me in terms of, like, what the story is trying to say, I think. I learned to love life and have friends, so defying the prophecy would be about the power of the optimism getting to keep that improvement. That is a popular thought, for sure. Again, I think my thoughts right now are that the final tragedy is Susie is supposed to basically break or kill Chris to get the soul. Just because I feel like the evidence is pointing more towards, yes, there's some violence that is supposed to happen. Yes, this involves Susie, but it does feel to me like the thing that Ralsei is actually worried about is Susie being the violent one, not that Susie is going to suffer violence. Like, that seems to be more of a concern for Ralsei. Plus, there's this whole thing where, like, Chris just has a lot of death flags on them, I feel like. Chris seems to have resigned themselves to being a martyr. Heck, I'm even looking at it from, like, you know, why are they unbothered by the fact that, you know, Susie was basically threatening their life constantly once she showed up? It's almost like they knew, well, that's going to happen anyway, so why should I be bothered by it, kind of thing. Like, this was always meant to happen. It's always been a little weird that Chris has just shrugged off Susie threatening their life all the time. And, I think Susie even has a parental guardian figure. Yes. Somebody. Maybe it's one of her parents, maybe it's another family member, maybe it's a foster guardian or whatever. I don't think she's living by herself. That logistically feels a little bit tricky. I think it is deeply suspicious that she has not said so much as a peep about who she's living with. And maybe that means something. But I think she is living with someone. But yeah, in terms of, like, if the prophecy says that, you know, Susie is supposed to kill Chris for their soul and stuff like that, I think that would definitely contribute to, like, why she is so upset about this, considering, you know, she's been working so hard to, like, you know, reach out, have friends and stuff, and prove that, you know, she's not just a bully or dangerous or a terrible person. And then, again, the prophecies turned around and said, nope, you are destined to hurt the people you care about. I think that would be deeply upsetting to her, and that's also why she's like, I want us to keep being friends at the end of chapter 4. Like, that is the thing that is on her mind. Whatever she saw, she is worried that will ruin their friendship in some way. When I first played chapter 3, I thought she mentioned parents related to her moving, but she doesn't say a word about parents. We have no clue who she's living with currently. Yeah. So that's why she moves, and she has to live with someone, but that's it. Yeah. She has not said a word about it, and I find that very suspicious, considering how much we know about, like, Noelle and Chris's families, and Susie, we don't know anything. So, Yeah, I think whatever it is, the final tragedy is very personal to her. It involves her directly. Alright, I'll be right back for one more stretch and orange juice and stuff. Alphys, you have to guard things while we're gone. return. I return. Yeah. No, I haven't seen the new Game Changer season premiere. Sorry, I haven't seen Game Changer at all. I know it's good, I just haven't seen it. Wait, I don't need to put on that. See, I'm seeing it as, like, the opposite thing. Like, if the final prophecy is, okay, that, you know, the girl's supposed to kill the cage or whatever, and this was originally supposed to be Noelle, then I think Susie was put into the position of the girl basically to throw her under the bus and to protect Noelle from having to do that. It's like the kind of thing of like, okay, what is the more tragic outcome? Like, oh, the beloved girl next door that everybody loves, the sweet and kind person, the mayor's daughter, the person that everybody loves, and she's forced to kill her childhood friend in order to save the world. Or, well, here's the girl that nobody cares about, the weirdo, the freak, the bully and stuff, doing something that we always figured they would do, and at least we saved the world out of it. Yeah. There's a note that the prophecy was... Yeah. My problem is that I don't think there's a second girl. There's only one girl. At last was the girl is the second hero. It does not make sense for there to be a second girl that gets mentioned once and then never again. The second hero is at last the girl. They are the one and the same. I think people are just reading that wrong. Because those are not done in an order of 1, 2, 3, 4. It is, the third hero, Prince Alone in Deepest Dark. The first hero, human with the cage with human soul and parts. Last was the girl. At last was the girl with hope crossed on her heart. Like, this is all supposed to be kind of like a rhyming set. Am I doing this correctly? Yeah. There is no second girl, there is just one girl. And also, it is written that way because it is describing the order that the heroes join the party. Yeah. That's not the prophecy, though. The organics say a lot of things that are not necessarily just repeating the prophecy. See why we must have seen the prophecy panels in order. Again, it is written like a poem. And the reason why it's saying, oh, it's the reason why we list the third hero is first, and then the first hero is second, and the second hero is third, is because it is describing the order that the heroes join the party in, because we start out with Ralsei, who starts them in on their journey, and then Chris joins immediately afterwards, and then Susie, at last, joins the party at the very end of chapter 1. She does not join the party until quite late, so she is last and at last, because it takes her a long time to get there, and when she does, she then is finally listening to what Chris has to say, and they're listed as the first hero, the second hero, the third hero, because that is the actual order that they are in when they are, like, questing. Chris goes first, Susie goes second, and then Ralsei goes third. Yeah. No, but he does at least get scared of Chris getting close to Noelle in Weird Root Chapter 3. I'm not sure on how the weird root fits into that. I can see a situation where, like, basically, again, if Noelle was otherwise intended to or expected to be the second hero, and then Susie was put in her place again to throw Susie under the bus, that basically the weird root, in the attempt to take control of the narrative, is just switching things back onto how it might have gone otherwise. My main issue with, like, oh, you know, Susie is not the second hero kind of thing, is that the implication there is that, oh, you know, Susie has taken the role from somebody who is more qualified, and she's going to be upset because, you know, oh, she thought she was picked for something cool, but she wasn't. It was actually intended for somebody else. I don't think that's what's actually going on. I think Susie is perfectly qualified to be the second hero. I think both she and Noelle are qualified for that. Because the trouble with being the second hero is not, oh, you know, you were unqualified to be a hero. The problem is that it is a bad thing to be a Deltarune warrior hero. It is not good. There is a tragedy that is involved. So the reading that, like, oh, Susie would be upset that she's not the real hero does not make sense in the context of the final tragedy, because then it's like, well, this isn't even your responsibility then. You didn't have to worry about this from the start because this was never about you. Yeah. But in that sense, I feel like she met the qualifications of girl with hope crossed on her heart kind of thing. Because as soon as she comes in, Ralsei is like, yep, you are a hero of legend. Garrison's like, yep, I think the things are calling you a hero. Again, that's true, but it does then also depend on what the final prophecy is. The final prophecy seems to be something that does directly concern Susie, and is something extremely bad. I don't know, because Ralsei seems to, like, absolutely have knowledge that, like, even Chris doesn't have. He's constantly saying, like, there's still stuff that he's hiding, where he's like, you know, I don't know what to say, when things to say them. I know stuff about, you know, not just the prophecy, but the rules of this world, which is interesting to bring up. So, I don't think he did a big misread. The same way the prophecy seems to support him. The same way Garrison seems to support the idea. Again, I can see a situation wherein originally Noelle was expected to be the girl, but then Susie was put into that position in order to protect Noelle. But I think Susie and Noelle are equally qualified to be the girl of the prophecy. Yeah, there's a weird thing going on about Noelle. They should be equipping ribbons. Yeah, especially if, like, again, if the final prophecy is that the girl is supposed to do something terrible to the cage, then basically sparing Noelle doing that and putting the big scary bully in the position of having to do this terrible thing, like, I can see that happening, and I don't think that would be a difficult thing to arrange either, because basically all you need to do is make sure that Susie and Chris go to the closet together to get chalk. That's literally all you need to make sure happens. Not a difficult thing to engineer. And I think maybe Alfie's was kind of conscripted into that, considering, you know, rewatching some stuff from Chapter 1. It's kind of weird how, you know, Noelle starts to say, oh, maybe me and Susie can get it, and then Alfie's kind of interrupts her. He's like, oh, no, Susie, you came in late, so you go get it. And Chris, you go with her. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, somebody basically told her to do that. Basically like, hey, if Susie shows up late and there's no chalk, go send Susie and Chris to the closet together. Especially if it's the mayor going in and telling her to do that, then like Alfie's like, okay, I guess I gotta do that. And not maybe perhaps fully understanding why she has to, but again, basically all you need to do to make sure that Susie is the girl is have them go to the closet together. So I can absolutely see that as being something that was engineered by people who are trying to protect Noelle. And doing so by throwing Susie under the bus. I do find it weird how, like, little Ralsei seems to understand or know about Noelle, aside from, well, she can equip this stuff, but... Why else do you... what else do you know, dude? It could be that. But yeah, I have already laid out, like, why I think that Chris is the one that's supposed to die. Chris, you promised to murder yourself. I don't know, because it definitely seems like Ralsei is aware of how things work in the light world. He's like, oh, you got to go to the classroom and, you know, get the stuff and bring it back here. He knows where things are located in the light world. So why does he not realize that, like, oh, this isn't the correct girl? Why does the prophecy then reflect that? Like, even if you can kind of do, like, the duck and bunny trick with the larger thingy of the girl, like, I'm pretty sure I could do, like, a duck and bunny drawing with them. Like, just the basic, and then the three heroes, you know, appeared, blah, blah, blah. None of those look like Noelle. They look like the girl absolutely looks like Susie. So the prophecy definitely seems to think she's the girl. And it's like, okay, how did the prophecy come to that conclusion? Other than, like, you know, she was in the right place at the right time, so, yep, she was always meant to be the girl. Whether or not, like, she was meant to, quote-unquote, meant to be the girl, the prophecy seems to think, yep, that's the girl. And all that business. It would, I don't know, it would feel like extremely weird, I guess, if the prophecy is like, you know, specific enough to be like, oh, this character is going to say something like Toothpaste Boy, Jockington grows the beard, stuff like that, like all this very specific stuff happens, and then at the same time, like, we don't even know who is in which role. It's a little weird. A little odd. Not completely outside of, like, oh, this would be impossible. But it's like, okay, why are these certain things really specific? And then why are these certain things that are supposedly very important not specific at all? Which parts of these are actually, like, the most malleable? Because the problem is, it's like, okay, if you're getting into all this stuff about, oh, you know, Susie was not meant to be the girl, then it's like, okay, was somebody else meant to be the cage? Was somebody else meant to be the prince? How are we doing these qualifications? Other than just, like, you know, they were in the right place at the right time to do this, therefore they are that role. What is it that you know, Ralsei? Tell us! Tell us your secrets, Fluffy boy! Your fluffy secrets! Meanwhile, Chris is a sad wet dog again. Can't go 2 steps without being a sad wet dog. Also raises a whole lot of questions as to, like, okay, how long has Ralsei been, like, standing there in the castle town waiting for Chris and Susie to show up, or the Cage and the girl to show up? Like, he says, oh, I've been here my entire life. Okay, Ralsei, how long was that? How long has it actually been? I know time is probably a little bit weird in the dark world, but an estimate would be cool. Yeah, the way time works is unclear. Like, time definitely passes because, you know, they'll go into the dark world at the start of the chapter, and then by the time they're done, oh, it's afternoon, oh, it's evening, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I don't know if it's necessarily a one-to-one, like, time difference kind of thing. On the subject of Ralsei, what do you think he is? And what object Chris carries with them? He's pointed to an idea or concept. I'm a bit more experience life as physical object. Are they born with backstory based off their life as an object? Ugh. Yeah. Make her a popsicle. Yeah, it's not clear how long the Closet Dark World has been around. Yeah, I am inclined to believe that Ralsei is an object of some kind. The horned headband still makes a lot of sense right now, just it feels the most correct. It could be something else. My one caveat is that, again, I think that a part of Chris's soul is attached to it in some form. So, and I think that would be easier to do with, like, an object than, like, you know, a concept. So I do think that Ralsei is a physical object of some kind. If he was not a physical object, then I think the closest concept he would be quote unquote an imaginary friend. But I also, again, I'm still on the idea that Ralsei has a portion of Chris's soul. It is easiest for that to be attached to an object. Yeah, he's a darkener. He may still have, like, particular, maybe he does not need to be carried around by Chris. Maybe he has some kind of property where he is able to traverse worlds all on his own. And we'll find out what that is. Yeah. He's definitely, like, a little bit outside of normal Darkner rules. There is no concern about him turning to stone, it seems like, because he always has a purpose wherever he goes. But also the reason why I think he's an object is, like, the part in Chapter 3 where he's like, even I, the one telling you this, am just a ... Seems like he would be describing an object. Acid Tunnel. Give a gift at or near Cyber City. We also talk about that person for Noelle. He says that Noelle is nice, that is strong in magic, and that she can use ice until Chris asks. Okay, I see. So he knows a little bit about Noelle, but not a lot. I do like how you can absolutely tell that Susie is thinking about Noelle in terms of, like, oh, I hope she likes me by asking Ralsei, can you tell me anything about Noelle? And he's like, she can equip ribbons, and she's like, you know jack squat. The thing she wanted to know was like, will she like me? Like, that's clearly what she was interested in. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting because you would feel like Ralsei would know about that because, again, he seems to be pretty anxious about the upcoming festival and the fact that he can't be there. And, 2, he gets anxious if, the Ferris wheel ride goes awry in the weird route. It's like, wait, what happened? We didn't see it. Yeah. So it's really weird. Of course, it's really weird. It's the weird route. But how much Ralsei knows, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the weird route is a little bit of a black box for him. Like, he clearly does not want the final tragedy to happen, obviously. Like, that is the thing that he is most concerned about. But at the same time, like, he gets extremely anxious if things are kind of going off the rails. He doesn't know what's happening. So, yeah, the ice powers might be very important. Especially for dealing with floods and stuff like that. As he's a part of Carol's conspiracy. Yeah, what if it's something worse kind of thing. It's definitely making him nervous. That's true. At the very least, I do find it interesting that, like, no matter... When you're talking about the festival with Ralsei, no matter who you say, oh, I'm going to the festival with this person, Ralsei will bring up, hey, make sure that Susie's happy. Make sure that Susie will like that. Susie needs to do this. He seems very concerned about something happening at the festival that's going to upset Susie. And Weird Root is like, very obviously that's going to upset Susie. Because she's already feeling like, hey, Chris, what were you and Noelle talking about? Without me, I'm feeling left out of whatever's going on, kind of thing. Yeah, like, Ralsei gets nervous for the thorn ring. But even, like, the thorn ring, Susie's like, is this a torture device? Like, she's not, I wouldn't say she's normal about it, but probably not as concerned as Ralsei, who clearly doesn't like him. Susie just put off by it. Ralsei gets silent ellipses. Ralsei, what do you know? Tell us. Your fluffy secrets, tell them to us. What do you know? This is probably part of, like, my big chapter 6 and chapter 7 like prediction thing, but I don't quite know much about what might happen in the Weird Root, except what I'm seeing happening is basically like the Weird Root ends in a soft lock, because it basically will, I can see a situation where normally we will have to face off against Noelle, like, as the angel. She's, like, taken over by the angel or whatever. I don't think she has been the angel the entire time. That doesn't make sense, but I can see a thing of, like, oh, it's using her for, like, a conduit or a vessel or something like that in the normal route. And so we're going to have a big boss battle against Noelle to free her from that, and then we can do cool stuff with her after that. But in the Weird Route, if, she gets their own soul control or something like that, basically it's going to make her into an unbeatable boss. And if you have an unbeatable boss, you essentially, effectively soft lock yourself. Or heck, just doing a cool thing where, like, we're playing as Noelle, especially if control switches. And again, if you are playing as as what's supposed to be, a boss, then effectively you've soft locked yourself because you can't, like, the heroes then can't win. So that's my current thoughts on, like, where the weird route might be going with that. No, I disagree with that. I'm quite certain everybody is going to the festival. I mean, maybe in the weird route things might get a little different, but I doubt that. I think everybody's going to the festival. We all go to the World's Fair or whatever it is. I just don't buy into the idea that, like, oh, Susie's gonna skimp out on the festival because of, like, the final prophecy or whatever. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't follow. All three of them are going. Again, if Chris can go, she can go. That's my thoughts. I don't think she's going to be, like, I do think we're going to be doing the festival after the Dark World. But if Chris is going, she's going. And Chris is definitely going to go. I don't think she would skimp out on that. I don't think that's correct at all. Because, like, she wants to go. She keeps bringing up the festival. She's like, oh, that festival. Oh, that would be so stupid to go to, right? Haha. But, you know, what if we went? Like, haha, I'm not wanting to go, but if I did, well, who would I go with, you know? Man, it would be so cool if I could invite, you know, Noelle to the festival, but I can't quite do it. Man, I wish Ralsei you could come to the festival with me. She wants to go. She is going to go. Kicks off the roaring. I don't think Asgore is opening a fountain. I don't even think he's opening the fountain in Flower King. I find it kind of weird that people, like, assume that he's going to open the fountain. I'm like, no, that's the knight's job. That's one of the primary things they do. The knight that makes with blackened knife. I actually think the only people that, aside from the knight, that make fountains are going to be the three people that Queen mentioned, and that Gaster also mentioned as being especially wonderful, and that's Chris, Susie, and Noelle. We've already seen the fountains that Susie and Chris have made. We just need one from Noelle, and I am quite certain that she's going to be doing one. My guess is at the end of Chapter 5, she makes a fountain in the festival. And then that'll kick off Chapter 6. Now, I don't think Asgore's going to make a fountain. That's the knight's job. As evidenced by the music. I definitely think he's going to be, like, in the right place at the right time for a fountain because of conspiracy stuff. But I don't think he's actually going to make a fountain. I don't think he actually has that much control over the situation, basically. I could be proven wrong. It is true. I could be, like, absolutely gobsmacked. We see Asgore make a fountain. In the next chapter, I'm like, whoa! I was incorrect. Whoa! But I'm not putting my money on it. Mostly, I just find it very interesting that it was revealed in Chapter 4 that different people making fountains creates a different world. That the colors change, that the layout changes, all that kind of stuff. So if there's questions there, is okay, why does that happen? It says, oh, the lighting of the mind has changed. I don't think that Asgore's lighting of the mind is going to be along the same lines as what we've been seeing so far. So I do think we are going to be getting a fountain made at the festival. But I think Noelle's going to be the one to do it. And it's going to be at the end of the chapter. And it'll be a crazy cliffhanger. We'll have to wait however long for chapter 6 to resolve it. Ah! We always get it cliffhangers. Also, this is my stretch break. It's gotta be soon, right? I was yapping so much, I, as usual, forgot about when my stretch break is. I probably should take it. Get a little bit of Chris done here. And then we'll take the stretch break. We'll do their little shady hair. They're so shady. Like I do think we'll get a festival Dark World, but I do think we need time to actually like enjoy the festival like it normally is in the light world first. Because if we were just thrown into the festival without like actually getting to experience it before it's a Dark World, I don't think that's gonna hit so hard. We gotta establish it first as its own unique setting. Then you can go crazy with it. Get crazy stupid with it. Okay. Alright, we'll finish up that as soon as I do a stretch break. Ah, as I fall all over my computer. Alphys, you saw nothing. Also, I don't think that just doing a fountain outdoors is going to start the roaring. I think we're going to need a bit more than that. I think that'll kind of start to kick it off, but we need more than that. And I actually think that Chris is going to help kick off the roaring. And that'll be the big moment where Susie feels betrayed by them. That is part of their deal in the conspiracy. Part of how they help the knight. And I guess I'm not sure, like, again, what exactly is necessary to do that, but like, okay, the knight making a fountain inside a fountain got us a titan, but not the roaring yet. I don't know. I think an outdoor fountain would be possible, but I think it would be weird. I think it would be not how Dark Worlds normally work. Which is why I think it's being saved for Chapter 6, because I think Chapter 5, we need one more place where we're going to recruit Darkners from. And that'll finish up basically our recruitment arc thing. And then Chapter 6 and 7... if we do Dark Worlds, there will not really be recruiting happening there. They will be their own crazy thing. It will just not be like normal chapters where you're supposed to, meet Darkners and battle them and recruit them and all that kind of stuff. I think Chapter 5 is the last time we are doing that, but I also think Chapter 5 is like, we need at least one more recruitment run, basically. And that will be Chapter 5 in Asgore's shop. And then if we do Dark World Shenanigans in chapter 6 and 7, we won't be doing the usual recruitment mechanics. Maybe there will be certain darkness there, but especially if it's like outdoors in a festival kind of thing. Like, it seems like half of what's going on with Darkners in Dark Worlds is that, they kind of have at least a bit of a history. They have some kind of sense of being played with, of imagination attached to them. If you're doing this outdoors in the festival, not really much you can do that with in terms of like making, new Darkners, new people. I think you can do like some crazy settings, but I don't know how much like you can do in terms of character work. Might be a few, but I don't think it would be like a normal recruitment thing. No, they're not. They're not last Thursdayism. That was disproved. I never liked last Thursdayism. I'm so glad they got rid of that. Thank God. They're not last Thursdayism. They have a history. They literally, like, that's what Ram was talking about. He's like, oh yeah, back when, you and that girl were playing with us, you made me feel so special, even though I was just a plug outlet. Blah, blah, blah. I remember you doing all that stuff with King and Queen, all your big adventures. They have a history. It wasn't invented when they were created. They seem to have some memories of when they were objects and how they were treated as objects. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch and stuff. Alrighty, once again, I return. The physical object lives clearly affect their live sense of self. I don't know if they were outright conscious during that time, but I think like the fact that they remember history that actually did happen to them, like makes it not last Thursdayism. Susie not going to the festival theory that Noelle has discussed in her unused dialogue for Susie's recent weapons? Again, what does that have to do with her not going to the festival? That doesn't make sense. What is the unused dialogue of that? Also, like, yeah, for the toxic acts, that's supposed to be like, you know, a toilet brush anyway. Of course, that's gross. Yeah, that's yucky. And as far as like beat up an old man, I think it's a joke because that Chris told, because it's like, you know, she did kind of fight an old man. He told her to do that. She doesn't have any other context for it. I don't think she's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you would beat up an old man, Susie. I hate you now. Like, that's silly. But again, how does her dialogue for weapons not have... How does that relate to her going to the festival? Those are not related concepts. I don't understand the argument that, like, oh, because of item dialogue that we'll probably get later with them, she's not going to the festival? Like, how do those two concepts relate to each other? I'm so confused. I mean, I guess, like, are they going off the assumption that, like, oh, Noelle is definitely going to be in the Chapter 5 Dark World for Flower King? Because I know what, I don't think that's going to happen either. Which sucks. I want her to be back in the party again. I do. But I don't think it's going to happen next chapter. I think it'll be Chapter 6. I do miss Noelle. But I don't think she's going to be in the party again. Next chapter. I kind of wonder if people like had this expectation of like, oh, you know, Noelle was a party member in chapter 2, so we're always going to get a new party member. You know, it's another lightener in future chapters, and that just didn't happen. I think Noelle is a special case. Mainly in that her being in the party gives you the opportunity for, like, weird root stuff. And, I don't think we're going to have opportunities to do more weird root stuff with her in Chapter 5 until, like, the festival. And then that'll be a big deal. Especially if Susie feels shut out from whatever weird root stuff Chris and Noelle are doing. But sadly, I don't think we're getting Noelle partner in Chapter 5. Again, which sucks, because I miss Noelle as a partner, because she's so cool. But if we do get her as a partner again, it won't be until Chapter 6. That's my assumption. Does seem like we at least have some important Dreamer family stuff to cover next chapter before we do festival stuff. Hopefully we get a little bit more on whatever the heck Asriel's up to. If you gotta come home, boy, come home. One party members, because gameplay-wise, a bunch of characters that have stats, always built to scale the chapter would allow for a lot of variety. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't seem to be his interest. Which, that's fine. Honestly, that's probably where fan games would come in instead. Because you can kind of do that kind of thing on a bit of a smaller scale. But yeah, I feel like it was set up specifically so you can do some stuff with Noelle and not much else. Is it meant to be a party member? Could be. It could be. Let's see. what's this one? This was this one, so it'll be this. And heck, I will say that if that is true, and that Noelle was never really meant to be a party member, it is again an example of Susie kind of exercising her will over the game, because what is the thing that makes Noelle into a party member? It's the fact that, you know, when there's a break in the road, Ralsei is like, hey Chris, do you want to go with me or Susie? And Susie's like, screw that, you're just coming with me, Ralsei. Which then leaves you alone with Chris and Noelle. So I think perhaps the implication there was that, you know, no matter what, Noelle was not in the party because somebody else was joining it. Also, I think I need to erase a little bit here. So I can see that being the case, where basically Susie's interfering again kind of helped Noelle be a party member when she would not have otherwise, and then that unfortunately gives us the opportunity to do Weird Root shenanigans with her. But it feels like that going through that very specific set of steps to do the Weird Root is very, like, necessary. It's a very easy thing to miss. If you miss, like, even one step, okay, you're off the Weird Root. Similar to No Mercy Root in that way. Got a new pet kitty, exactly. Kitty loves pets. I'm already waiting for, like, all the comparisons between Caddy and Friend. Oh, is this Friend? Is this Friend? Just because they're a friend doesn't mean they're yours. Those teeth, they bite. Whatever the heck that means. Mike's, what did you mean by that, actually? Okay, we're going to do some little shadowing on that later. Let's see, Chris would be doing that with Susie specifically. Can I keep her? Watch out. She hungry. Okay. Got this part. This page. I'm getting through. Actually, we gotta do the ball. It followed me home. I mean, I ordered it to do that, but, you know, it still followed me home. Would you like to play some soccer, Chris? Or I guess it's just regular football. What's that noise outside? Look, what, that's not what I wanted. It's a great clipping mask. Why did it break my masks? Stop that. Does what have a little bell inside? Sorry, I missed that. Oh, do you mean the ball? No, it's like a soccer ball. I'm hard at work on our group project. It's a picture of a soccer ball, copied 57 times. That is true. Who knows? They might get distracted by a ball with a little bell inside. Oh, ding, 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 ding. It's fun to do fur shading, but it always takes a little bit of time. How badly is work treating me this week? It's not as bad as I was expecting. I'm waiting to get more work assigned to me. I asked the rev person, hey, if you need help with anything, let me know. And she said, okay, but I haven't heard anything this week yet, so it might come up next week. We'll see. No item, weapon, armor dog will get changed when she rejoins the party. Maybe? I don't know. If it does get changed, like, why was that dummy stuff put in the first place? Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with the dialogue she has right now. I'm still confused as to how, like, the dialogue that she has in with the items right now, how that's any sign of, no, like, Susie not going to the festival. I don't get how those two things correlate. It don't make sense. But yeah, I think the dialogue that she has right now, it's fine. I just realized I kind of shaded this a little bit wrong. Oops. Oh well. Derpsh. But yeah, but the problem is also I'm going to be starting a new episode, like, I'm going to be starting a new episode for work. Not this week, but next, so I don't have much time available. For example, the Justice Axe and Susie would be able to tell Noelle what happened to get the Justice Axe. Maybe? I mean, Susie might see it as a joke, too. She did kind of beat up an old man. He's just, you know, he's the coolest old man ever, so he can take it. I think it's just a joke. I think it's just jokey jokes. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Noelle might rejoin the party, but I don't think it's going to happen next chapter. I don't think she's going to be in the next chapter's Dark World. Which, again, is a sadness, but it is what it is. Yeah, Chris is saying it to mess with Noelle. Check out my cool axe. I'm excited for whatever secret ability the Justice Axe will get, since it has some kind of secret ability that we don't know about yet. No, I can see Papyrus being in Chapter 5. I can see it. Now, I think he's going to be in costume, so we won't be able to see exactly what he looks like. And that'll still drive people insane. But, if the assumption is that we will see Papyrus around the same time that we see Asriel, and if Asriel is coming home for the festival, which starts tomorrow, then if we see Asriel, we will probably see Papyrus around the same time. And we will probably get some answers as to what he's doing, but mostly more questions. Questions. I want answers. And Sans will act really nonchalant about it, and people will be driven insane. As you do. You can give her as many tails as you like. It is up to you. There's no limit to the tails. That just means you have to draw more, though, which is always a little bit difficult. Beware of designs where you have to draw a lot, I say. Doing an AU where the designs are complicated and have to be drawn a lot. Beware! And if you're not planning on drawing it over and over again, then you're probably safe. It's up to you. It's up to you. You are the author of your own artistic destiny. Yeah, if you're just doing it for fun, and you're not planning on making comics out of it like I am doing, then you can probably be as wild as you want with your designs and no one will stop you. Definitely a little bit easier to tackle it in fan fiction than fan comics. But unfortunately, fan comics is how I do things, so that's what I do. I gotta deal with it. Sneaky cat. The evil kitten caboodle. Actually, I probably should do the shading here. Oh man, listening to that music. I still gotta do like an Eldritch version of El Nino and La Nino. Probably just do character cards with them, but I gotta find the time for that. I'm sure I gotta do like Storm Elementals or something, but I haven't gotten to it. Aw, role plays from long ago. I do miss doing those. Back in my day, we roleplayed on LiveJournal and had fandom wank about it, and it was kind of obnoxious, but it was fun too. Man, roleplay drama got really weird sometimes. Yeah, well, in that sense, like a canon refresher is probably always good. Good to do canon refreshes, so you don't get kind of lost in your own sauce, I guess. Because that is unfortunately easy to do in like fanfiction, I think, especially roleplay, as you're kind of developing the character into new different directions. Game Overs. I thought it was quite competent. Also, there were some varied body types. What about Crab Girl? I'm Crab Girl. Oh, really? I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I want to see more of it. I liked Gobbles. The Lernosaurus. I like the premise. I think the premise is interesting. I like the animation style. That was different from what we usually see. So, I thought it was enjoyable. Oh, are you going to do a comic with it? Or just kind of arts on the side? Make it away, Smooth McGroove. Also, there's probably some black on the leg there. I keep forgetting where all the void parts go on Caddy. What are my thoughts on Clam Girl? Sure is a clam girl. I don't know if I have much thoughts on Clam Girl other than that sure is Clam Girl. Telling us mysterious clam girl things. The time we will meet Susie is fast approaching, but not Undertale Susie. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Shading. It's gonna probably get a little bit confusing with all this black around, and then there's black on black on black. Now available in black and slightly less black. rather contrived. Really? I think it's perfectly understandable. Also, that's kind of like against the whole thing with Eldritchrune. The whole deal with the thing that Eldritchrune is trying to tell us is that it is worthwhile to invest in a work of fiction. That even though things are not real, they still have a real impact you, and that's important. I don't know. I cared about the characters. Maybe that could just be like a, subjective thing. Again, I really liked Gobbles. Probably care about Kit a little less, but like, I like Gobbles. Even Flappers was like annoying but funny. And interested in how to do some of the villains. But yeah, can't do everything for everyone. Sometimes it really just is subjective. I don't like it, and that's all there is to it. I'm pretty sure there are things out there where I'm like, I don't like this, and I can't really articulate why beyond I don't like it, and that is fine. There's room for everything in the world. The Aaron Hansen doing Gobbles. No, I like Gobbles. I like him. I think he's cute. He's doing his best. But that is the subjective nature of art. One person's, oh, I love this cute little guy, is another person's, I can't stand that weird little creature. You'll never know what people like or don't like. I'm sure there's some like popular thing that everybody likes that I don't really care for. Not coming to my brain right now, but I'm positive they exist. Half Italian, half Latin, half... Okay, I don't know what those are. Are those made up? Or are those like actual people? I don't know. Italian Hispanic. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, wait a minute, what are these words? Okay, Italian Hispanic. That is logical. Yeah, I've never engaged with any Danganronpa, so I cannot give any thoughts on Danganronpa. I think the most is I watched like a kind of a retrospective on like the first game a long while back, and that was about it. I'm trying to sound like what are some popular things or popular characters where I'm like, ugh, I can't stand that. And I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure there's something I'm thinking of. Because everybody's got their thing where I'm like, I can't stand that. You can't articulate why. But my brain is mush on what that might be right now. My problem is also I don't engage with much popular stuff nowadays because I don't have time for it. That sounds like League of Legends somehow. I can't articulate it. Sometimes you like a thing and you're like, I shouldn't like this thing. I hate the fact that I like this thing, but I like this thing and I can't help it. And that's just also life. As long as you engage in it with your whole passion and your whole heart. No, I never played League of Legends. That's just what I've heard secondhand. I've never played League of Legends. I'm not really into like big multiplayer online games in the first place. The one major multiplayer online game that I play on the regular is Sky Children of the Light, and I do that because I play with one of my friends, real life friends, and that's how we kind of hang out and socialize is there. And that is not a PvP game. That is very much not a PvP game. That is a hang out and do very pretty things together game. It doesn't have very good ongoing story. I have my criticisms of the Sky, but it's not a stressful game to play. Yeah, still kind of a popular punchline. I really enjoyed the first season of Arcane. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the second season though. Also, did I call you incorrectly, Chris? Okay, yes I did. I was confused for a second. But now it is time to take my stretch break. Yeah, I mostly hear about League of Legends either in the context of Arcane or as a punchline. I did love the animation in Arcane though. Beautiful animation. But in terms of like what they did with the characters in season 2, I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it. Your Honor, League of Legends. That must be referencing a meme I don't quite get. Because I feel like I've heard that statement before, but I don't know the context for it. I'll never know. It's a 4-panel comic. Okay, I have not seen the 4-panel comic then. It has somehow never crossed into my online ecosystem. And yet, I feel its ripples. Oh, it's a Control-Alt-Delete meme. I see. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I love how, like, people take Control-Alt-Delete panels and just absolutely tear them into little shreddy bits and then edit them. Why did your blender explode? Well, that's Control-Alt-Delete for you. I mean, that is kind of how it goes. Same joke, but with too many words. Man, imagine being Tim Buckley and your legacy is the Lost comic. You're never going to get away from the Lost comic. The Lost comic is going to follow you for the rest of your life. I don't know how I would deal with that, to be honest. I think that might kind of break me a bit. Okay. Well, we'll see if I have time for Danganronpa. It's not very high on my to play list right now. I got other things I want to do. Never enough time in the day for the games you want to play. Ooh. I'm entirely sure Lost is that much more ubiquitous on the internet than CAD itself. I don't know. I feel like Lost has broken containment way more than CAD has. Like, I feel like there's a lot more people out there who know what Lost is, completely divorced of the context of CAD, than people who, like, know what happens and care about CAD. Like Lost has kind of become, like, its own, I don't know, its own creature that's, like, broken off of CAD and slithered off into the far reaches of the internet. Nobody can find it again. You can't contain loss. It is mutated into something else. Yeah, it's practically evolved into a sigil. I think somebody described it as like the only English kanji, which is kind of funny. I don't know how you achieve that from just like a bad couple of panels from a mediocre webcomic, but somehow it was achieved. Proof that really you have no idea what will happen to your art when you put it into the world. Something very good or something terrible might happen to it. That's the risk you take. A risky risk. Alright, I'll be right back for one more stretch, and then we'll do one more session. Alright, return. Good grief. I went to physiotherapy on Wednesday, and the physiotherapist absolutely did a number on my arm because it's still sore like half a week later. I'm gonna sneeze. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, excuse me. It's still sore half a week later. Also, I think he misplaced one of the needles at one point because there's a bruise on my elbow that's been looking pretty ugly, and I'm pretty sure he put a needle in the wrong place. It says make fun of my sneezes. Anyways, I know everybody makes fun of my sneezes. It's fine. Thank you. If I do it again, you're gonna make fun of my sneezes again. Ugh. All that spring pollen in the air. That's what's doing it. I actually don't know if lizards sneeze. I've never seen Alfie sneeze. Maybe they don't sneeze. I do have very little noses. Not taking in as much junk. Yeah, I got this yucky bruise on my elbow. That's not supposed to happen, so I think he put a needle in the wrong place. Oh, no, it's up here. Yeah, and there's a lot of pollen outside because there's a giant park nearby. Sometimes you can just like see giant clumps of it come off the trees, roll around in the wind. Big tree pollen chunks. But I'm not like allergic, so probably does not affect me as bad. Sneezy breezies. Sneezy Breezy sounds like the name of an area in like a Banjo-Kazooie knockoff game. That's gotta exist somewhere, right? Hand me needle? Sure. Whoops, I dropped it, Dark Fountain. Ah! That's not how Dark Fountains work. You need intent. Physiotherapist stabs me with a needle with intent to, you know, create something, and then Dark Fountain sprouts out of me. Ah! Well, I don't think that's how it would work. I know a lot of people are like, what if you stabbed a person with a fountain? But I'm assuming that it needs to happen in the ground. I don't know, maybe that is what happened with deaths, who knows. I might need to go to a garden supply store soon myself. Ah, I can't find collards for Alfies. You can't make shitposts. No, that's not allowed. They all have serious plot misconceptions. You've got to take everything 100% seriously. No shitposts allowed. Friend inside me is real, obviously. All shitposts are secretly just lore. Just lore that you, the theorists, have to figure out. Can you distinguish between what is to be taken seriously and what is a joke? It doesn't matter. To be fair, it is a little, like, Toby Fox does make that kind of hard because he can absolutely make something a joke and then also make it worthwhile and matter. I think that might have affected people a bit. Where, unfortunately, it becomes very difficult to, like, take things as just jokes. Because everybody's always second-guessing stuff. Including me. It's me, I'm fandom, I'm second-guessing stuff. I got no room to talk. Inside of a cell phone. Yeah, dark world in an object. I'm not quite sure how that would work. Because usually the dark world object is a part of the world. Yeah, I've never seen this. I'm always correct. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. You're set yourself up for disappointment. Don't do it. I thought I was correct about what Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to do, and then I got proved super wrong and I disappointed myself. I don't want to do that with Deltarune. That's why I'm like, okay, I do think Susie's half human, but I have to prepare myself to be wrong because I do not want to disappoint myself. Prepare for anything. Or one AU where a character was like a walking dark world. Interesting. I mean, I guess that would kind of be like a Titan. Weird Titan experiment. Oh no. Oh, that's frustrating. Twitch, what are you doing? Phone, what are you doing? Stop being dumb. Because, yeah, Titan's kind of like a walking dark world. At least, at the very least, Susie is like, hey, we can seal it like a dark world, and yeah, that ended up working. I don't think I've ever watched a Twitch stream on my phone, but I'm always on my home computer. Also happened on YouTube. Phones, what are you doing? But yeah, I don't really watch much stuff on my phones. I am on my big computer. The most off-computer stuff I do is mostly watch stuff on like my iPad. My big computer. My big chunky boy. My workhorse. Yes, I understand the desire to be right, but it is an important skill. It is a very important skill to learn how to be wrong. Because if you can learn how to be wrong, one, you are less likely to hurt yourself in the process, basically, and two, you open yourself up to new and cool possibilities. I have made a lot of predictions over the years in terms of what Eldritchrune is going to do, and a lot of those have been wrong, but I have not been disappointed with what we have gotten. I have at no point been like, ew, I wish we had gotten what I wanted, it would have been better. I have always been like, wow, this is really cool, I'm glad we got what we got. And maybe it's just because it was made well. Maybe comparing that to Kingdom Hearts 3 was a mistake, because, again, I don't quite like what we got in Kingdom Hearts 3. But, again, don't set yourself up for disappointment. If you're wrong, then you're wrong, but if you're right, then you can scream it and be like, I was right. Whatever makes sense for your story is what makes sense. You are the one writing it. You are in control. Fiction makes you lose control. If you say it's what makes sense, then it's what makes sense, and people are just going to have to deal with it. And if they don't like it, they can write it themselves. Like you are doing right now with Paper Trail. That is the beauty of art. If I don't like how Eldritchrune ends, then I'll just do something different with my own fan stuff. Although I'm actually not super worried about Eldritchrune's ending. In terms of like something happening that I really do not like or I don't think would work, right now, I'm not super worried about that. Again, as we've been going on with the later chapters, I have only been enjoying them more. Even when I am wrong about things, I've been enjoying what we've been getting. So, I'm not going to worry about it. Maybe that'll change in Chapter 5 and I'll be like, oh, I hate what happened in Chapter 5. It's going in a new direction I don't like at all. But let's not worry about that until that actually happens. That is possible. That is a possibility. Is it something that, like, maybe your first impression is not great, and then it's the kind of thing you have to, like, sit with for a bit and kind of ponder over and take, a couple times, and then you're like, okay, I understand it now. That's something I could see happening. But if in Chapter 6 your computer opens a dark fountain in real life and threatens us all with the roaring, because Toby's dream was genuine divine revelation. Can he give me some lotto numbers too then? That'd be neat. Use your divine powers to help me specifically, Toby. I feel like this was like a joke going around for the Homestuck Kickstarter, where it's like it costs $3 million because we're actually gonna, like, play Homestuck and end the world with it. And it's like, okay. Apparently $3 million couldn't even get you a regular game, much less that. It's been a long time since we've gotten Kingdom Hearts 4 news. I'm kind of on the periphery of that, being like, is that gonna happen? I don't know what you're doing, Nomura. Again, I haven't really seen anything that makes me like, oh, I have to play Kingdom Hearts 4. Namely, like, oh, this Disney World, it looks really fun, I have to do it. Because they haven't talked about the Disney Worlds at all. So I'm just like, okay, Chris, I can't even talk about the characters. Sora's in the real world-ish now, except it's Vernon Rex, I guess, and I don't care about that. Where's Atlantis, the Lost Empire? Where's, like, I don't know, Jungle Book? Where's my Disney? That was why I wanted to do it in the first place. I don't care about your 10 million guys I have to play a Dark Road or Union Cross to know who they are. Please. Just give me Susie the little blue coupe. I do kind of wonder why Kingdom Hearts 4 is taking a long time. Like, does Nomura have other responsibilities? Is there something else he's working on? Aside from 4, or... how's that working? Also, I kind of get the feeling that Nomura himself is a little bit tired of Kingdom Hearts, which... is... okay, he's on the FF7 remake. Okay, that makes sense. So, basically, 2 big projects going. See, that turns me off. I don't want Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts. I don't. That's because Kingdom Hearts is already Star Wars. It's already a giant universe where you're going around and talking to all different kinds of people, like trying to squish these 2 universes together. It's too much. It's just too much all at once. I don't like it. I don't want Marvel. I don't want Star Wars. If they did a Marvel or Star Wars world, that would honestly like turn me off even more. So, I hope not. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because I'm sure they want to, you know, hype certain franchises, and their thoughts are like, boys play video games, let's hype the boy franchises, that being superheroes and Star Wars, and blah, blah, blah. And, I gotta say, that would annoy me to no end. Yeah, kind of with Big Hero 6, but it's not quite the same. You know, like, we know what we're talking about in terms of that. I like the Little Mermaid world. Very fun. People can make fun of it. I think it's fine. I think it's silly. San Francisco was fun, but good grief, I hated navigating that. I got lost so easily. I don't know. Any of the Star Wars, I don't think I could deal with it. It already felt like a little bit weird when they were starting to get, like, really realistic with pirates. Like, it worked well enough, but it was, like, a little weird. And, I don't know. They never did too many girl franchises. Yeah. It just depends. Although truthfully, like, the navigation for Little Mermaid World, at least in Kingdom Hearts 1, that was a pain in the ass. Kind of tanky controls. The thing is like, to an executive, Kingdom Hearts is boycotted by virtue of being a video game. I'm not even kidding, that's how dumb they are. That's how they think. They're like, they won't see, like, girl games and boy games. They will think that is a video game, therefore it is for boys. That is how shallow they are about this kind of thing. The only time they start getting, like, unisex with, like, what's for kids is if it's, like, really little kids, like toddlers. That'll be kind of unisex about, because, like, you know, you can sell a lot of toys to both kids in that age range. As soon as, like, you start getting to, like, 5 and 6, that's when the executives are like, this is for boys, this is for girls. That's when you start gendering stuff. Like, it's quite shallow and annoying. Oh yeah, I'm quite certain the Kingdom Hearts franchise, or Kingdom Hearts fan base, is predominantly female. I am certain of that. But I'm saying, like, an executive, you know, who's actually telling, you know, Square Enix, put this in the game, they don't think about that at all. They think, this is a video game, therefore it is for boys. That is the full depth of the thought that goes into it. I guarantee you. This is a doll, this is for girls. This is for toddlers, okay, it's for both boys and girls. That's about the extent of it. even then, basically, if they say we're making a game specifically for girls, it's like we're making a doll video game, we're making a dress-up video game, blah blah blah. That's for girls. That's the extent of their thought. Yeah, again, absolutely, the fandom is for predominantly female, but I don't think people with money give two craps about that. They barely paid attention to Kingdom Hearts, like, in its heyday. We got, like, almost no merchandise for it. I feel like they kind of entered the merchandise game for Kingdom Hearts kind of late in the game. And even now, they're still not paying much attention to their video game division the way they do, like, the movies in the parks. They've never really quite cracked it, even though Kingdom Hearts probably is the closest they came to cracking it. And even then, they're still not paying attention to it much. Not the same way they do other things. That's the unfortunate reality of it. I'm not surprised they only care about Final Fantasy because, like, the big moneymaker is 14. I'm pretty sure so many resources are going to 14 is because, like, that is what's making all their money right now is 14. Disney got burned on video games, basically went, nope, not for us. Yeah, that I do think that's kind of what happened. They've tried to, like, do it, like, dip back into it a little bit, and then I think they got burned again. And just they don't want to put any effort into it, so that a lot of that stuff gets licensed out, which is then a crapshoot because you could get a really good licensing deal, or you could get something kind of crappy. You really don't know. You could get really cool stuff like Kingdom Hearts or like the oh good grief, who made like the original like Pixel games, like, you know, Aladdin and Lion King, stuff like that. I think they were on like you know, Nintendo, Sega, stuff like that. Those turned out pretty well. Or, you know, Epic Mickey came out pretty decently, but a lot of licensed games they came out with are kind of shovelware-ish. Yeah, if they don't advertise it, people aren't gonna know about it, aren't gonna do it. It's always frustrating. TS2? Which one is TS2? On PS1? Toy Story 2. Okay. Oh, Toy Story. I feel like I have kind of a weird relationship with that movie now because of the friend inside me meme. Oh, fandom. You have unexpected effects. That is true. I was really excited about Epic Mickey because I saw like a lot of the concept art for it was really dark and like scary and cool, and I was like, oh, that looks so cool. I want to see that. So I got it, and even though I struggled to play it, I played it, and then but the problem is like the actual game felt really sanded down. It didn't seem nearly as creepy and scary as the concept art sold me. Yeah, that's true. Oswald also got treated poorly. He's still not really, like, they bought him back, I guess, but he's still on the periphery. He's not really a part of the, you know, the gang. Super Dark Epic Mickey concept is also symptomatic. Yeah, that is true. That is true. That's quite true. Usually concept art pushes things much more than the actual thing does. I know that was true on My Little Pony. We had much darker concepts going on working on the My Little Pony movie than actually ended up in the movie. So that is just a thing that happens. I think maybe that's kind of the danger of like trying to sell your product with the concept art before it's done, because that kind of sets an expectation of like, oh, it's going to look like this and it's going to be so cool. And then of course it's not going to do that because they always sand it down. So I guess The moral of the story is don't sell your stuff on concept art. Sell the concept art after the movie is out, and then people can look at the cool art that we didn't get and still be happy with the movie or the game. There was a Cars 2 game before the movie. I don't think Cars 2 was a good movie, but maybe it was a good game. At the very least, I feel like, you know, Cars is probably going to play better as a game because it's fun to race a car around in most circumstances. I don't think Cars 2 was a good movie because they tried too much to world build it, and it made the world extremely weird. Why is there a Pope car? Is there Car Jesus? Cars 3 was better than Cars 2. I agree with you. Cars 3 was better than Cars 2. Because they kind of edged away from, like, the world building stuff, and they went back to just, like, hey, we're just going to talk about, like, how cars feel about racing and stuff like that. Oh, the game. Okay, I see. Cars 2 feels more recent. The thing is, Cars 2 is probably like 20 years old at this point or something. I don't know. Yeah, there was a Cars 3. John Lasseter sure loved his cars. And also being a creep to women. Ugh. Ugh. You know, as a young animator, you know, I'm always like, oh man, I wish I could work at Pixar or Disney. That looks so fun. And now that I'm a jaded adult, I'm like, you know what? I'm doing okay for myself in like my small little overseas studio. Just working away on projects. And having good coworkers who don't harass me. Sexually harass me. I think I'm happy with my situation. Yeah, series built for merchandising. Yeah, it seems like kind of a marriage of ideas that just don't quite work. Cars really does work best as like a vehicle to like sell toy cars. I have not seen Swapped. Cars 2 was in 2011. Okay, 15-year anniversary. I was off by 5 years. Yeah. No, I've not suffered any kind of harassment. I have had, in the past, I've had supervisors that are pretty crappy. But thankfully that's only happened, like, once or twice. And the crew that I'm on with right now are really cool people. I have never felt bad around them. They've always been fun to talk to. They've been cool. So you know what? If you have a good crew on your show, then you're in good hands. And it makes the work worthwhile. Cars 2 is also like right before Toy Story 3. Was it? It probably was. That sounds correct. Yeah, I do think it was considered like the first bad movie after like the Pixar golden period. Something golden. Yeah, that's also why I'm not excited about 5. I'm like, I didn't see 4. I don't really care. 3 was the perfect place to end the movie, in the franchise. Why are we still going? You could have done like shorts and stuff like that. Shorts would have been fine. I like Bug's Life. I think Bug's Life was a perfectly good movie. I think it was better than Cars 2. You can definitely see they were still kind of like working out the kinks of how to do this kind of movie making, but for what it was, perfectly good, I think. So we're nearing the end of our session. Bug's Life absolutely better than Ants. Having seen both, Ants is weird. Yeah, the one film that's not remembered, which is a little bit too bad because I think I think Bug's Life is a perfectly fine movie. I don't think it's as strong as say Monsters Inc. or Finding Nemo or WALL-E, or Ratatouille, but few things match up to like WALL-E or Ratatouille. But I think it's fine for what it is. And again, better movie than Cars 2. Better movie than The Good Dinosaur. Oof. DreamWorks ripping off era. Was it a genuine coincidence? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it could go either way on that. It's kind of weird how they came out around the same time, or like, even if they were being developed separately, I think Katzenberg like kind of pushed for Ants to come out first. So I do know Ants came out first. Yeah, animation does need a lot of lead time. Brave got the Best Animation Movie Award, not Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, I do love Wreck-It Ralph, the first one. But I'm a little bit soft on Brave. Honestly, the thing with Brave is that I think this would have been better if they had really leaned in more on, like, the mother-daughter relationship stuff. It feels like they were kind of, like, pulled back on that. There was some behind-the-scenes trouble with, like, the director. Which, never a fun thing. Never fun. As I am experiencing right now. Working in animation, it is a miracle any movie gets made. Making stuff's hard. I have to coordinate so many people doing all these different things with different needs. Production is difficult. Yeah, Treasure Planet was done dirty. And I do like Atlantis despite its flaws. It's definitely interesting seeing like what the studios prioritize in terms of their movies, like throughout the ages. Alright, as soon as we finish Caddy here, I think I'm gonna have to call it a day because I need lunch and stuff like that. Also, actually, let's just go ahead and do full shading down here, just in case. Just in case. And he's like, it's time for breakfast, darling, even though it's not how she talks. Not how she talks. But anyways, we've made progress. What are we on? Page 5? Pretty good, pretty good. I'll work on this more today. Later today. And I'm not sure if I'll be working on this next week. It depends a lot on how far I get on this in the middle of the week. If I get really far on it, then we will probably work on ending stuff next week instead of this, because this will be too close to being done. And then on Friday, I will finish up the rest of Cooking with Kindness, as we were talking about earlier, because I'm excited about that. If I happen to finish, if it does only take me like an hour to get through it, and I happen to get through Cooking with Kindness early, then what I think I'll do is I snag that Eldritchrune theory survey, and I'm like, okay, maybe we'll do that on stream, and you can see me yell at theories in real time instead of just doing it during my art. But that's, again, just if we have a lot of extra time at the end of Cooking with Kindness. We'll see how long it takes me to get through it. I might struggle with the mini games again. You want to see me yell at theories? Okay. Maybe we'll do that as a separate thing anyway. I don't know if people want to hear about my silly rantings and stuff. But again, we'll see how it goes. That definitely, at the very least, we're finishing Cooking with Kindness on Friday. And more Eldritchrune of some sort next weekend. But yes, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. Again, I always appreciate you being here, listening to me rant and ramble and all that stuff. You all are so cool. Thanks for putting up with my yelling about video games and animation in your face for like several hours while I draw. So again, you all are so cool. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Also, thanks for the new sketches for the sketch page. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Oh boy, good luck with that fan game. I think I've seen that a little bit, but yes. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Alrighty, see you later.